What are some steps that you need to take to increase your credit? Or what are some of the major things that affects your credit negatively? On today's show, we welcome back credit expert LaShawn Milton. And today she's going to deep dive, like really get in the grooves she's going to deep dive the credit industry and home ownership planning. So I hope we get through all this material. It is a lot, but we're here to add value to your life. LaShawn will share how she services people just like you and me, as well as businesses. And this lady she's really making a difference in the community, y'all, because when she puts her client on the path to healthier credit, it helps everybody. So all that and more coming right up. Hello, everyone. My name is Paulette Roller-Lesnick, and on this show, in this space, we talk about personal finances. That is how to make extra money, how to create and develop multiple streams of income, and how to increase your wealth. And we all know credit is a major part of that. Your credit score is a major part of that. I just want to say before we bring our guests on, please grab a notebook and a pen. Let me know where you're watching from, because we're multi-streaming this on both Facebook and YouTube. So let me know where you're watching from. And honestly, if you hear something that up-levels your life, something that you like, please comment in the chat. Please like, and just subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all social media. It's Paulette is at Paulette PRA. Please follow me on social media so you don't miss content like this in the future. We're gonna have, each week, our goal is just to bring incredible, empowered expert in their industry that would help you with your finances. Everything we do is geared towards making your financial future better financial, or I should say financial freedom, if you need to give it a theme. So this week, we're going to deep dive the credit industry, home ownership planning. Next week, we're going to talk about the budget, planning, just planning a simple budget to get started. If you already have a budget, how to make it more effective. We're going to go into that next week. And the week following that, my guest, Rosie Ginseng, will come in and talk to you about finding the wonder in your woman. If you feel like you have lost it, if you feel that you're stuck somewhere, or you feel like everybody else is doing their thing, LaShawn is out there making a difference in the community. Your friend, your sister, coworker, pastor, somebody's out there doing their thing, they're on the grind, and you feel like, well, what can I do? Right? I'm a mom, I'm a teacher, I'm in church. You might feel like you're just somebody, but the good thing is you are somebody, and there's wonder in you, and there's greatness. So Rosie will come and talk from the theme Wonder Woman, and how you can really pull up that superhero inside of you, because we all have a superhero, right? Find your superpower, all that and more coming up. So what will we cover today, right? The agenda will cover a few things. We're going to answer these questions. What is credit? What is a good credit score? How do you find good credit? What if you don't plan to apply for credit? Can you still have a good life? Hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. How to know your credit score and what the number means. She's going to deep dive that. Does having a credit card hurt or help your credit score? What's the difference between a credit score and credit report? She's going to go into a lot of stuff. So I invite you to get your notepad and your pen. And each week I ask you to invite someone to come along. So yes, I am buying time because I want you to share this link with a friend. And we're going to welcome men on the show today just because we feel that men need to be empowered with this as well. Hello. Oh gosh, I can't see their names. But hello and thank you for joining me. I see some people hopping on. Just want to say hello to you. When I don't put my glasses on, I can't see, but I see that you're there. It says hello, Miss Paulette. Somebody called me by name. Oh, the N and B gang. Well, hello, hello, hello to you. I'm just excited. Do me a favor, gang. Just please invite a few people. Oh, from summer camp. Cool. Oh yes, I know her. I know her from summer camp. I taught at summer camp last summer. Invite some friends. Invite your mom, your grandmother. Invite people to join you on the chat, because when we bring Miss LaShawn here, she's gonna deep dive the credit industry. She's gonna deep dive home ownership planning. You don't just pop one day buy a home, or maybe you do, but what happens after home ownership, right? You want to make sure your credit is in place, you have your ducks in a row, and LaShawn is here to help you with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? If you're back, if you were here for week 1, thank you and welcome back. And if you're new, I want to introduce you to this amazing woman. And I'm gonna not go into a lot of details because she's gonna share she's gonna share more. Hi, Mr. Lesnick. She's gonna share more about herself. But LaShawn Milton, she is a broker, a realtor, a credit expert. That's why she's here today. She's a credit expert. She is a small business owner. She's the owner of exclusive LCP credit services, as well as RealNet Royalty Group. She's multiple, like, you know what? This is a specialty on this show, multiple streams of income. So she's got multiple streams of income through her real estate company, through brokeraging, and as well as the credit industry. She is out of the Tampa Bay area, and she is what we call your neighborhood realtor, because she's there to help you whether you want to purchase a home downtown or the countryside. She has a family business. And like I said last week, she started just in a real estate business, and she found out that some of her clients were wanting to purchase homes, but when it got to the I guess to the point to qualify, they had a problem with their credit score. So this woman went and educated herself, and she actually opened the exclusive LCP credit servicing, and this is what she's going to focus on today. So are you ready? Are you ready? Hello, 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 everybody else who jumped on. Let's welcome to the show the amazing LaShawn Milton.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you guys are doing great. I am so excited. Today I'm going to do a teach-in. So today it's going to be on our, our screen. So a lot of the information will be on the screen for you so that you can follow along. If you have any questions, you can pop them in, and then I'll try to look for them so that we can answer questions throughout. We want to try to get through this as easy as possible, so if you guys have any questions, just pop them in the questionnaire, and then we'll get those answered for you. I'm not going to ignore you. I'm just going to be going through the screen, so it's going to be a little, multitasking here.
So and I'll keep an eye out for questions as well. So when I see questions, or when you break for question and answer for questions, I'll help as well.
Gotcha.
Okay. Thank you for joining us again. I'm so excited. I'm excited
to get to know everybody.
Take it away.
Hey guys, I don't know, Josh, do you have that PowerPoint together? Just wanting to go ahead and let you know that I'm LaShawn Milton, your neighborhood realtor, but I'm not doing this alone. I do have a couple people behind me. I have Chantel Milton. She's a realtor and a credit expert. I have Maribel Pickmans. She's a realtor as well. And then I also have Leona Wesley, who helps us with the credit. Okay, so and she's also the real estate assistant. So we do have.
Let's see if we can get the PowerPoint up real quick. Let's wait for the PowerPoint so you don't.
Okay.
Josh, we were having technical difficulty earlier, so boom, I can see it. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So there. Here we are. Like I said, I'm LaShawn Milton, Chantel Milton. We have Maribel and Leona as well. So this is who we work. This is who we work with. This is what we do. And we do have Spanish speaking as well. So if you have anyone who's looking to speak Spanish, we have that available. So we really tried to dig in to make sure that we're going to help everyone that needs to be helped at this time. Okay. So we're ready for the next one. Going to get right into it. That's not the next one. Oh, that's the last one. That's not the next one. Well, the next one we're going to get into is going to be just giving you what we are. We're going to talk about principles of credit monitoring and home buying. So we're going to dive right on in. We need you to know your credit scores. Yeah, I think we got to get to know your credit scores. We all have 3 credit scores based on the information on your credit report. It's very tricky. Lenders use various scoring formulas so that you can to determine what happens when you're getting approved for a car loan, it's just every company has a different scoring system. So it's very tricky. Like I said, some people range from 300 to 500 depending on the name of depending on the business. So if it's a credit union, sometimes they do that. Sometimes the credit union and banks, they have a scoring system. They use your FICO score. However, they have a scoring system to score you within their company. Okay. And FICO scores is your credit score that the banking industry uses in any financial institution, like a Badcock, things like that. They use a credit score. Canes do it as well. They use a credit score for you to understand where you range, and that FICO score, and that's what it is. It will range from anywhere from 300 to 850. Okay.
LaShawn, is this the correct slide for this?
No, we're right here. That's the correct slide right there.
Right. Know your credit score. Okay.
Know your credit scores, right? And I just know he went too fast. We're still on that. Know your credit score.
Yeah. Just so Josh, just wait till she says next slide so that we can. She doesn't miss her notes, please. So go back to know your score.
So debt happens to everyone. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's something that you want to dive into so that you can understand where you need to be to get started in credit. So it's okay. The debt is a range, so you'll have to see how the range goes. For instance, I was telling you last week, when you have your credit cards and you have $1,000 credit limit, you want to be anywhere between 300 and below to be able to look good in front of the creditors, because they want to see that you can have a balance, pay them on time, and actually keep an ongoing balance. So if you have $1,000 credit limit, you use $40 to $100 every month. And every time they see that, and every time you make a payment, every time everything is flowing with it, it looks like you're able to have a good credit score from the credit card being a revolving credit card, and it helps you look good into the eyes of the creditor, because they don't want to see you max those cards out. You can max your card out. If you max your card out, they're going to lend to you, but it's not going to be the amounts that you're looking for. So you want to make sure that you keep that at a balance. Okay. Your credit scores tell your creditors a lot about you. Is it worth it to lend to this person? Are they high risk? Are they low risk? We want to make sure that we're in the low risk factor so that we can get what we need. It's leverage. A lot of times you don't have money to get everything that you need. And if you do have the money, you might want to, put it somewhere else so you can get other things that you need. So that's why we use the credit cards to leverage what we need. But we also want to make sure that when we're doing that we keep them at a 10% or below. 30% is out the window now because they want to see you at a low risk factor. Next slide, please. You want to know, next slide, please. You want to familiarize yourself with the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus are going to be Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Those are the three credit bureaus that are out there that are the monitoring service for everybody's credit score in the United States. So you want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with those credit bureaus, because you might have to be in a position where you have to find out if something is incorrect or correct. You want, like I told you last week, you want to make sure that you get a free credit report each year so that you know what's actually being reported on your credit. 5 things you need to know. Next slide, please. The 5 things you need to know about credit. Okay. Payment history is very, very important. We talked about this last week. Payment history is 35% of your credit score. That percentage makes up a huge part of your credit score. So if you don't pay your bills on time, that's going to hurt your score detrimentally. You're not going to have a good credit rating. So you want to make sure, like I told you last week, pay that credit card. Like I said, you can pay it late to the actual company. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you had to, if you were in a jam, you could do it. But please don't pay it 30 days late. Make sure that you pay it 29 days or less, so that it never hits the credit report, so it never shows that you're in a bad predicament. Because a lot of times they're not going to the actual creditor to find out what you're doing, because the creditor is reporting to the credit bureau. So therefore, you would have to make sure that you're reporting to the credit bureau to make sure you're having good payment history. Okay, so you pay it to the creditor before your 30 days so that you're never late. Okay. Your next one is your debt. The rule is 30%. However, like I said, these people are getting very, very savvy. They want you to be low risk as possible. So we're saying, I'm telling you, it's the best thing to do is to be at a 10% on your revolving credit. And a lot of times people don't know, but when you buy your furniture from the furniture store, that is on a revolving credit. And they lend you $6,000, but you really need to be 10% of that amount. So if you're not 10% of that amount, you've actually maxed out your credit. So when you go to apply for something else and your score is ranging lower, you're trying to figure out why. That's because you're on revolving credit. So when you get these things, like I said, it's best to get your credit score checked each year so that you know what's reporting and how it's reporting. And you can also, on the screen, it tells you about the monitoring services recommended. You can also pay for a service to monitor it monthly, because you don't want to know what it is at the end of the year. You want to know, but if you can know sooner, that would be great. Why would I want to know later when I'm trying to plan to buy a house? So if I'm planning to buy a house, I would like to look at my score on a monthly basis so I know if it's fluctuating or not, if it's ready to be where I need to be. Do I need to work on it some? So that's why we recommend the credit services. The recommended services there. Anytime you get new credit, that's 10% of your credit. So you want to make sure that you are not getting new credit all the time, because that's 10% of your score. Not saying not to get new credit, because you need to establish credit, but just know that when you're doing that, each time you're knocking your score down 10%. Your age of credit history is 15%. So meaning that how long you have credit is what that is. So if you have credit for 3 years, then what you want to do is make sure that your credit, you don't want to close any cards out. You want to keep them open. Now, if you're not using them, if you're not using them all the time, that's fine. But just make sure you use it every now and again so it doesn't get closed out, because that is going to be 15% of your credit factor. So if you're opening and closing accounts, each time you do that, you're messing up your score 15%. And then your credit mix. So when you have your credit mix, the credit bureaus, not the credit bureaus, but the creditors out there, they want to make sure that you are having a good credit mix, and that's 10% of your score. Okay. So not all credit cards are created equally. So a lot of times people like, how come I have to pay to get a credit card? What does that mean? I thought that they lend me the money and I get the credit. Well, no, that's not how it works. If you don't have any credit, to get started, a lot of people will start you with a secured credit card. And a secured credit card is a type of credit card that requires a deposit to open and show how credit savvy you are. It's mainly due to lack of credit or not having any credit on your credit report. or if you have to re like if you have to reestablish credit. A lot of people will offer you secured credit cards for that, and that means you have to put the money down yourself, but you still use it as a regular credit card. Do not max it out. If you max it out, we're going to be in the same situation as before. So we want to make sure that we're 10% of the balance that you are lended out to, that is lended to you. Unsecured credit card is a type of credit card that doesn't require the deposit in advance to be approved. They lend you the money, and then they want you to show your responsibility of having good credit. So, meaning back to that 10% rule, you need to make sure that you are utilizing your credit cards 10% or below. You can have some over the balance, because when you want to average out. So if you have 5 credit cards, you want it to average at 10 to 15%, so that you're not going over. And then you're going to also keep so if you have an 850 credit score, you're going to maintain that 850 credit score, because every time you use your card, you're making sure that you're paying it back, and you're staying under your credit limit. Next slide, please. Ways to improve your credit. As we said before, 35% of your credit is paying your bills on time. So please, please pay them on time. And remember not to pay them 30 days late. Keep your credit balances under 10% of their limits. Make sure you're having mixed credit. Mixed credit is a car loan, a student loan, and so a car loan is an installment loan. Okay, a revolving loan, a revolving credit is going to be your credit cards. Make sure that you have a real estate loan. Make sure that you have an automobile loan. So these are things that people are looking for to be able to extend credit out to you. And as long as you have this in good standing, a lot of people will extend that out to you. But again, you can get a little shaky with those credit cards. So you want to make sure that they're 10% or low. Okay. And space out your credit card space out your credit applications, any of them. If you bought a car 6 months ago, don't go and apply for another car, even though you can afford it. Sometimes they may not give it to you because they're trying to figure out what are you doing? Why are you having so many, like, why are you applying to so many people? So you want to avoid that. And again, remember I told you, do not go to the dealership to get your car approved, because they're not going to one institution. They're going to several institutions, and that's going to put you in a bad situation, and that's going to hit your credit score in a negative impact. So you want to make sure that if you are buying a car, you go to your local credit union, you go to your local bank, you go to your local financial institution. Some of them are secondary, some of them are places like that, like Capital One with their bank now. Capital One, a lot of places offers car loans other than your actual bank that you're banking with. Okay. Pay your credit card minimum balance. Pay your credit card at a minimum balance on the date. And then 3 days after that, you can pay a little bit more, so that when it hits the credit bureau, it's already showing a huge impact. So you're not carrying a big balance on your credit. Okay. And we can go to the next slide. So a lot of people were looking to know about buying a home. They want to know what we need to do to buy a home. So when you're buying a home, you want to make sure that you sit with a credit specialist and make sure you're in a good space. A lot of lenders are looking, it used to be a long time ago, 500 credit score. We can do it, but your interest rate might be different. So that's a lot of stuff you want to look at too, because when your interest rate is different, your payment is different and your buying power is different. So we want to make sure that we're in the know on what we need to do to buy these homes. Did anybody have any questions before we get on to the home buying? Anybody have any credit questions? Because I did go through that pretty quickly. Any questions out there?
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I think on slide 3, you mentioned revolving credit, and then it's a two-part question. Revolving credit, I didn't quite understand that, and the importance of mixed credit. Can you just clarify just a little bit the difference of revolving and mixed, please?
Yes. So if you could go to slide number, hold on. Slide number 5. And you want to know about revolving credit, right? Slide number 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your revolving credit is what I was speaking of earlier. Your revolving credit is what is really where your credit card lies, but it's not only your credit card. Some people get secondary things like uh I think it's called care credit. They use that as a revolving credit. Canes furniture, Badcock furniture, they use that as a revolving credit too. So what you want to do is if you get approved for $6,000, you want to make sure that you are 10% of that balance. So you cannot buy $6,000 worth of furniture. You can only buy $600 worth of furniture. So you have to understand that. So when your credit when you're lended an amount of money, you have to leverage that money. If you use 6,000, which you could use the 6,000, and when you pay it down it will go down, you need to make sure that you have other credit cards that will actually you have at a lower balance that will offset that 6,000 to keep you at that 10%. If you don't have that level of mix, you have to pay that $6,000 off right away in order for your score not to be impacted. Okay. And
Okay.
then the mixed credit is going to be your credit cards, your car loans, your student loans, a real estate loan, what else? Your furniture loans, things like that. So that's a mix of credit, and the creditors like to see that you have a mix. They don't want to see that all you have is credit cards. That that they're like, okay, well, she's just getting a whole lot of credit cards and using other people's money. They want to see that you have an installment loan as well that you've had for a long period of time that you're able to continue to pay on, and and it's coming down. So they want to see a mix, not just one type of loan. Okay, so that's where the credit mix comes in.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, so we're talking about buying a home. So when buying a home, as Paulette said earlier, you want to make sure that you're budgeting. You want to make sure that you have your credit together. You want to make sure that you get with a good realtor. You want to make sure that you understand again how much you can afford, and make sure but the most important thing is, because we elaborated a lot on credit, that credit score really puts us in perspective of how our buying power can be. Because you can make all the money in the world, but if your debt is high, you're not going to get what you're looking for. And you can make all the money in the world, but if your credit score is low, you're not going to have that much buying power. So you want to make sure that your credit card, I know that, I mean, not your, I'm sorry, your credit score, not credit card, your credit score is going to be a 680 or higher. We can do it with a 640, we can do it with a 660. But if you're in a range of 680 or higher, your interest rate is going to be better than the average person. And that means, for instance, if you are approved for a $2,000 payment, you might can get a $500,000 house because of your interest rate is very low. But if you have a 500 credit score, you might can only get $180,000 house. And in this market, you can't buy anything. So you just want to make sure you know where you stand when it comes to buying that home. You also want to look at down payment options. You can use your 401k, you can use give money, you can use down payment assistance. So you have a lot of options out there. Don't think that you don't have 20%, you can't buy a home. You don't have the 3%, you can't buy a home. Yes, you can. You want to get with a well-minded realtor that can help you with these options. These are options that we can overcome. There's things that we can do to help you get into your home. The
Okay.
essentials of having a realtor: the education and experience, working solely for you to make sure you get the home that you want, making the process smooth for you, easy access to the MLS, neighborhood knowledge. A lot of people have to, we're really like a native born person. So if a person is born in the city that they're living in, that's great. They happen to know different places where you know where you can live, and they're knowledgeable about that. price guidance. And that's a lot of what we have to worry about right now is price guidance. Yes, the house is asking for 320,000. Is it worth 320,000? Does it have good square footage? Does the comps around it make it warrant to get the 320,000? So those are things that you want to be sure that you have a realtor that's savvy enough to help you with those items. Credit scores when buying a home. I know we talked about it earlier. I know I said 680, not saying you can't get a loan with the 640, not saying you can't get a loan with the 500. Just make sure you know that when buying your home, those credit scores drive your buying power and the amount that you can purchase for. You want to get qualified. You do not want to be in the situation where you're out shopping, trying to find a house, and then you find the house that you love, and then you come down and you're saying, "Oh, LaShawn, I don't have my pre-qualification." The way the houses are flying off the market like hotcakes right now, you cannot get in your car and waste your gas to go look for a house that you can't buy. So you want to make sure you can shop online all day long. That's fine. But if you're thinking you're very serious about buying a house, you need to get pre-qualified. There's no reason to no reason to sit back and say, "Oh, I'm going to wait and I'm going to wait." Well, you're going to wait and you're going to miss that house. So you need to get pre-qualified and actually know what you can purchase. Lenders look into these important factors when they're purchasing a home. When you're purchasing a home, your debt to income ratio, and they call it D to I. So a lot of people are like, "Oh, scratching their head. What is that? What is that?" Well, your debt to income ratio is how much money you make compared to what kind of debt you have out there. So they have that markup, and a lot of banks are at 40% or below. Sometimes they can go up to 50, 55%, depending on the lenders and depending on the programs that you're actually being approved for. It can go up a little bit, but I believe I would say 43% would be the good number out there. That puts your debt out there. That puts your debt to income ratio. I believe a lot of lenders are looking at the 43%. It can go higher, but that's just I believe like the general rule. How much credit are you using? They want to know how much credit are you using, because what happens is when they pull your credit, that pulls your debts. That tells them how much money that you have out there. So when they pulled your credit, they'll tell you, "Okay, well, you have $50,000 worth of credit out here. You make $200,000. Okay, yes, maybe you can get something 43% out there. This is your spending power. This is how much you have." Okay, so they want to make sure that you have that information. Employment history. If you are looking for a home, if you're looking to purchase a home, you need to have a employment history, self-employed or regular W-2, for 2 years. It has to be 2 consecutive years. Doesn't have to be the same job, doesn't have to be any of that, but you have to have employment for at least 2 years for the lenders to qualify you. Now, if you're a college student and you're graduating, they will make an exception for that. But anybody else that's been out here, you're out, you're not in college space, you're a little bit older. For our seasoned people, I'm not going to put numbers on anybody's age, but our seasoned people, if you're a little bit older and you're not in the college range age, you would have to be working for a minimum of 2 years. Okay. And self-employment is not a problem. We can lend to self-employment people. It just has to be 2 years of tax returns. Okay. And I did see a question. Someone said something about what was
the question was, what is the difference between? That's why I was hoping that he did the slide. Yeah. What is the advantage? You can see it.
Yes. What is the advantage of VA or FHA? So VA is for our veteran buyers. The veteran buyers have a program that if you are qualified, it's called a DD2. You have to have the DD2 form. I believe that's what it's called. You have to be qualified and have that form and submit to the lenders in order for you to get no down payment. So a veteran person, a VA loan is for them to get 0 down payment. So they can purchase a home and do not have to have a down payment. FHA loan is good for our convention, our regular buyers out here that we work our regular jobs. We don't have to, and we have an average credit score for our regular consumers have an average credit score, and it allows us to purchase a home at a 3.5% down payment. So normally your payments are anywhere between 5 and 20%, or if you want to put down more, you can. But when you have FHA, it allows you to purchase a home for a minimum of 3.5% of your purchase price. So that's an advantage of having an FHA loan, and it's a good product, and it's as good as a conventional product. So those are two good products that helps you get a lower down payment or no down payment to purchase a home. That's your advantage of those two loans.
Okay.
Okay. Then our next slide is going to be down payment assistance. So out here in the world, we have down payment assistance. Down payment assistance is we have a company called, we have a program called Florida Bond. They allow us to get up to, I believe, $10,000. Okay, we can do one for 7,500. If we do the 7,500, it just allows us to get our down payment paid up to 7,500, and we pay it back. So essentially, to me, 100% loan. So they down payment as well, so that you can purchase a home if you did not have funds for your down payment. They have one for $10,000, but you have to live in the home for 3 years or more. If you refinance, you have 10,000 back. If you do not refinance your home, you can get that $10,000 forgiven. Okay. The Shanoa program is a good program. It allows you to purchase a home as well, and they cover your down payment. You're paying everything back, don't get me wrong, but it allows you to be able to purchase a home without having the money up front. Okay. City of Tampa does it as well. You just have to buy a house in the city of Tampa. So my city lovers, if you want to live in the city, we have a program for you as well. And they lend up to $40,000 for your down payment assistance. And you have to live in the home, I believe, a minimum of 5 years. And but you still pay everything back. To me, like I said, it's 100% financing, but it depends upon your income to see what you're actually being approved for. So you have to go through a application, and you have to see a counselor. But we do have an option for your city livers to have a program for them to be helped out for down payment assistance. And we have
Real
many
quick,
other products as well.
before you move on, real quick,
Mhm.
the program you just talked about. So is that for like low income people? Like, is there a cap on your income?
It is that is income restricted. It is income restricted.
Okay.
So
Do you know?
so
Do you know what the max income is for that?
it is the median income. Let me look it up. I can find it for us. Hold on. Let me go to my
Okay,
emails. City of
that'll be
Tampa.
that'll be good because some people will watch on the replay, and that'll be important information.
Okay. So right. Yep, in there. Okay. So
While
our
she's, you got it.
give me one
While
second.
she's looking that up, don't everybody, you can connect with her at LaShawn Sells Home. It'll be on the screen sometime today. At LaShawn Sells Home on all social media platforms if you want to speak with her, or you can also call her because I know we just have an hour to go to cover this information, but she will love to speak with you and she can just walk you through a counseling session. If you want to go deeper with her, that's fine. She's just here to share the information with you and to up level your life. But of course, I know you're not going to ask all your questions. You might just want to have a one on one with her. Okay? Just wanted to say that. Go ahead, LaShawn.
So above moderate income, up to 8 people. So you have now they it's 1 to 8. So above moderate income, which will be 140%. If it's one person, it's going to be 72,380. And it just, the list goes on, and I can email this over to you so we can post it later if you like. But
Yes.
it, for an above moderate income, you can go up to 136, to be honest, the max. Okay. For moderate income, that's 120%, 117,000. For low income, it will be 77,950. And for extremely low income, I'm sorry, for very low income, it's 48,750, and for extremely low income, it's 44,660, and that's up to 8 people. So you have to find, it's a chart, and once you'll have to go with the housing counselor and the housing counselors, and you can get with me to get in touch with them. But Housing and Education of Florida Alliance, that's on Florida Avenue. I'm sorry, Housing Education Alliance is what it's called. So you have to get with one of the counselors there. We have the Reach program and Salita's House. All of those are good programs to link up with, so that you're able to apply to get that money from the city of Tampa. And the
What
other
about
loans
Polk
I
County?
didn't. Hmm?
What about Polk? What about Polk County for those who live in Polk County?
So for Polk County, and that we would do the Florida, we could do the Florida bond, we could do the Shanoa, and we can do the USDA loan and that's rural areas only. So right now, Ruskin is one of our rural areas, so we can use the USDA loan for that, and that takes care of your down payment. There's no down payment with that, but it has to be in a rural area. So Polk County, a lot of times it have rural areas. So if it qualifies, and we have a map for that. So if you put an address in on the map, that's what's going to warrant where that is.
Okay, great.
Okay. So that's going to be the end of our slides. If you would put our information up there, if you want to get in contact with any of us, our information is on the screen, or going to be on the screen. But yes, you can speak with myself, Chantel, Maribel. We are the realtors. You can speak with Liana if you had any questions about, trying to get an appointment with anyone. But we have all of that online. If whenever they get the screen up to show that, the numbers are there. You can speak with any of us. If you speak Spanish and you want to speak with Maribel, she's available. If you're regular and you want to speak with me, you can speak with me. If you want to speak with me first and say, "Oh, I just want to get some information," that's fine. I'm LaShawn Milton, and my number is there. So
Would you? Why don't you let us? Why don't you say your number real quick?
my number is going to
Tell.
be area code 813-789-2472. Again, it's 813-789-472. And you can get me at Instagram. You can send me a direct message there, and also Facebook. I do a lot of messaging on both of those. So you will be able to contact me there as well. If you're, a social media person and just, I just want to ask a quick question, you can pop that in there and we can get that for you.
Wonderful. Let's see if there are any more questions.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have questions, put it on the screen. I had my question answered. Again, ladies, at LaShawn Sell Homes on social media, you can always reach her that way. And again, her number is 813-789-2472. Did I say it right? 2472?
Got it. Got it.
I remember that. So again, 813. There's a flyer that has your email, your phone number, and everything, the blue flyer. But at LaShawn Sell Homes on social media across the different platforms, the phone number is 813-789-2472 if you want to reach out to her. Okay. Yes. Josh, there was another flyer that you used last week that had the picture of the I think it was the living room. That one we can see the numbers a little bit better. Any closing words, Mr. LaShawn?
I just encourage you, if you want to look into purchasing anything, a car, a home, furniture, anything that you want to purchase, you just want to make sure that you check your credit score. Those that recommended credit places, credit check total, Identity IQ, FICO.com, any of those places. And FICO is a real good one because It tells you
Okay.
if you're looking to buy a house, if you're looking to buy a car, it actually tells you where you stand in those places. It tells you your credit score, what the creditors are going to be pulling at that time. So these are good monitoring service to help you use your purchase power out there. Because if you're off a few points and you're saying, "Oh, I'm off," well, let me call LaShawn and find out what I need to do to get that back on track. You can do that, and using those credit monitoring service will help you, and that helps us know what our leverage is out there to purchase items and get them at a good rate, so you're not spending an arm and a leg. Because a person with good credit can purchase a car at 1.75%. A person with bad
Oh,
credit has to purchase that car at 19%. That's crazy. So the person that purchased the car at 1.75% or sometimes 0%, depending on if they have any specials or anything like that, they're actually going to purchase that car at $25,000. You purchasing the car at 25, the same car at $25,000 with a 19% interest rate, you're paying triple the amount
right,
that the
right.
average person that with a good credit score would pay. So when you are applying for things, that interest rate really makes a difference. It really makes a difference, and makes a difference on how much you're going to pay for that product. So you want to just keep that in mind. What am I actually going to be paying for? How much am I going to be paying in my credit position? So that's my closing
So,
words.
um, ladies and gents, because gents are on the show today, you you've heard from the credit expert. And again, if you want to reach out to her, it's at LaShawn Sell Homes. And her number again is 813-789. I remembered because it goes in order: 789-2472, 813-789-2472. Remember, credit touches every part of our lives. I said this last week, it bears repetition. So, your education, your health and wellness, your faith, entertainment, now even, I mean, jobs, housing, transportation, we're talking about cars. These days, people are pulling your credit to date you in the high society world. They really want to know what you have to bring to the table. I think that's a little bit much, but it's being done. So credit touches so much of your lives. Why not invest in having good credit? I've found, LaShawn, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that oftentimes when people have poor credit because of, bad decisions, we all made bad decisions, especially when we were younger, and those marks stay on our credit. Instead of getting help, I find that a lot of people just are afraid and just ride the wave and go, I'll just make more money, I'll get a better job. Slowly it will drop off, slowly it will increase. And we find that in this culture, many people don't seek help to get the the healthy credit they need. And I would encourage you to get help. It's not that hard. It might take discipline, but it's not that hard to link up with somebody like LaShawn to make sure your credit score increases and find out what's on your credit report. It might not even be yours. It might be a mistake. And guess what? You are paying for it. This whole show is about personal finances. Truly, our heart and the people that come on this show care about you making extra money, creating and developing multiple streams of income, and increasing your wealth. If you are paying money out the back door, you are wasting money. So that she just tells you, if somebody buys a car at 1.9% interest versus 19% interest, if you reverse the numbers, they're paying triple, probably 5 times as more. And which one would you rather be? It's okay. It's never too late to start. It's okay if you have bad credit today, but you shouldn't have bad credit 3 months from now, 6 months from now. Just take one step. Guys, if you want to get out of debt, if you want to have financial freedom, start with a healthy credit score and understanding your credit. And that's why this credit expert is here. Josh, if you would flash her information again on the screen. I really want people, even if you say, I don't need to purchase a car right now, just hold it on
Right.
the screen real quick. You might say, I don't need a car right now. House, that's in the future. I see somebody on here, one of my clients, who said she wants to purchase in November, December, I think she said, end of the year. However, Josh, put the other one back on that I can read so I can call them at that one. Hold it. So you mightn't want to purchase that car right now. You mightn't want to purchase your home right now, but start the 90-day plan, the 60-day plan, 120. Start it with her. Miss Milton, LaShawn Milton, Chantel Milton, 813-789-2472. I think I messed it up. At LaShawn Sell Home. Guys, reach out because you want to start. Once you get good credit, you feel so good. You really feel good.
Yes,
You really
yes.
feel good, right? Don't you?
Yes, yes, you feel good because now you
Thank you,
know,
Josh.
oh my goodness, I bought this car and it was at price, or it was I only paid 1.9% of interest for the whole time. So you're basically getting yourself in that you feel good. You're not spending a whole lot of money. You're not spending a whole lot of money on interest because anything that you buy, interest is going to be paid first before you get to the balance. You're like, I'm never going to pay this car off.
And you're never going to pay that home off.
Never
But
gonna pay this
wonderful.
home off.
So, if somebody is on this call, whether you are on the call now live or on the replay, and they're contemplating purchasing a home, is that something that can you help our viewers
Of
with the
course,
purchase?
I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah, she's a broker. She's a realtor as well. So if you don't have a realtor already, connect with her, and especially if you're in the West Central Florida area. On the replay, we have people from different states, of course. I don't know. You go out of state, or you
I don't.
license just?
I don't go out of state, but I can connect them to a good realtor. I just connected one of my buyers here with a realtor in North Carolina. So and
Okay,
we work together to make sure that our buyers get treated properly. So I love the networking part. We're able to connect
good.
together and make sure that anybody anywhere is getting help.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I thank you again for joining the show. And let me just invite everybody. I want to remind them that we have an amazing, I call it amazing, women conference coming up. It's called Get Unstuck. And ladies, this is just some of the information. She's not one of the guests, but we will be speaking to finances. Okay, so 5 women, one purpose to get you unstuck. We hope you can join us on. It's coming so soon on April 21st. We hope that you can join us. It's going to be in Lakeland, Florida. $25 investment for the entire event, including your dinner. So I hope you're coming. Share this with somebody that might not be coming. We need women in the room because we're going to cover getting unstuck from finances so you can better that, which include a bit of credit, getting unstuck from your emotional baggages, from past mistake. We all have past mistakes. Sometimes we stay there and we just brew and we stew, and it becomes a part of our lives. And the truth is, sometimes you need a hand up, somebody to pull you up. There are women in the conference, speakers, I should say, that have been there, done that, and we have now gone past those things. So whether you've stuck in past mistakes, limited thinking, oh, that's a big one. I love to push people past that. We would like to have you at the event. You are invited. Women, 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 share it with somebody. Teenagers, grown-ups, all the way up to 99. If you can walk and you can talk, please join us. But thank you again, wonderful lady. It was a pleasure having you. And I hope to see you again soon. We're going to do something in Tampa.
No problem.
Thank you all for joining us. If you want to connect with me, my name again is Paulette Rolla-Lesnick. You can find me at my website, which is pauletterolalesnick.com. On social media, Paulette, P-R-A, right? Across social media, at Paulette, P-R-A. YouTube, if you're streaming on YouTube right now, it's again Paulette Rolla-Lesnick. So it's like if you just Google my name, you'll kind of find me on social media because I'm the only one with that name. I'm the only one with Paulette Rolla-Lesnick. So I love to connect with you, just to speak with you, just to say you might need mentorship in making multiple streams of income and making extra money. I love to connect with you. Thank you for joining me. And again, next week, we're going to talk about creating a simple, effective budget. So if you're challenged in that or you know someone, please ask them to join us. Thank you again for joining us. And thank our guest. Everybody, let's give her in the chat, let's give her some hands clap. Thank you, guys. I think there was a question. Oh my, we missed a question. You want to answer that question? I hate to miss.
It's okay. Go ahead.
It says, why do different mortgage companies have different interest rate? We'll answer that question and then we'll be at time.
Well, I'm not able to answer that question, but I do work with my preferred lenders, and they do have competitive rates. So what I do is I try to get you connected with the one that has the best rates. But again, different banks have different things, so it's probably their products that they have available. Because I do know that with the down payment assistance, their credit, their interest rates just seem to be a tad bit higher because they are offering you the whole balance of the loan. So that's one of the reasons why they're a little bit higher. But everybody has competitive rates, and what we do is we kind of compare them before you apply.
Okay, so you help with that. Mm-hmm. So as the realtor help before, okay, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Thank you for answering that question. Everyone, thank you. God bless you. Y'all have a great night. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.